Dude! 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 Sweet! Okay, he hasn't even seen it. This is my top 10 movies of the year 2000. My number 10 is Dude, Where's My Car? If you know what we were doing, that was a reference to the movie! Dude, Where's My Car? Ashton Kutcher, Sean William Scott. It's like a bromance movie. They're best buddies. It's kind of like The Big Lebowski. I find a lot of similarities between those two movies. Yeah, The Big Lebowski came out in '98, so it was probably very influential on this movie. It's kind of got the same plot. Different things happen in the movies, and they're both very different, especially styles of humor. But it's just the same kind of movie where it's just like weird events happening, and then, you know, everything ties together at the end. So many memorable moments, like what we were doing at the beginning.
Dude, what does mine say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet!
I actually bought this outfit after seeing the movie when I was in high school. So cool. Number 9 is Me, Myself, and Irene. This is one of my favorite Jim Carrey movies. I know I've talked a lot about his movies in the 90s. This one I actually saw after all of his movies. Probably saw it the year 2012 or 2013. And my goodness, the scene where he's drowning the little girl in the fountain.
Still want to skip rope on the street?
I'm gonna tell my daddy on you, Charlie!
Wrong answer. And the name's Hank, fuckface.
That's just brutal.
It's so good! What the hell? Ah! So he's got split personality disorder. There's an awesome scene with this cow, and they're trying to kill a cow, and it just won't die. It's so funny! It's funny! Number 8 is a movie that probably no one watching this video has ever heard of or seen before, and that's Joint Security Area, or JSA. If you know about Korea, you may have heard of that, or it might be ringing a bell.
Oh!
What? Yeah.
The border between North and South Korea, they have an area called
DMZ,
which is where both governments have security guarding the border. These people that become friends, these North Koreans and these South Koreans. It's obviously a Korean movie. It's basically trying to tell the peoples and maybe even the governments, like, come on guys, let's all just be friends. It's more complicated than that, I understand. It's still a big thing, you know. North and South Korea are still completely separated from each other. He's not Korean.
Oppa Gangnam.
So, there's a lot of excellent South Korean movies, and we're only just getting started. Number 7 is Memento. Most people didn't see it when it came out in the year 2000. It gained a lot of popularity after Christopher Nolan, who's the director, also became famous and popular. And probably mostly not even because of the Dark Knight movies. It was probably once he made Inception that people started digging through his full filmography, because it was nothing like the Dark Knight, and people realized, oh, it's not just Batman that makes those movies good, or the characters or the story of Batman, it's actually the director, mostly. And he also did Memento. Fascinating movie, fully unique. It's about this guy with short-term memory loss, just like Dory from Finding Nemo.
Write yourself notes, and where you put your notes, that also becomes really important. You need like a jacket that's got like 6 pockets in it, particular pockets for particular things. You just kind of learn to know where things go and how the system works.
It's a gritty, dark crime movie. Guy Pearce is the main character, and we've also got a few Matrix cast members showing up. This movie reveals itself backwards. The entire movie. Now, a more recent Christopher Nolan movie, Tenet, you might be thinking, oh, is it kind of like Tenet where it has reverse? No, you just see every scene in reverse order. So the scenes go forwards, and then you see the scene that preceded it, and then the scene that preceded that. And slowly but surely, everything makes sense. Genius. Fully genius. Amazing. And Guy Pearce is very good in it. Probably his best role I've seen him do. That is Memento at number 7. Number 6.
The Sixth Sense.
Number 6 is not Sixth Sense. That was the last year.
Oh.
This year it's Battle Royale. Japanese Hunger Games. If you don't know the word Battle Royale by now, I don't know where you've been. Almost all video games are doing this thing now. Fortnite. Squid Game. That's basically another Battle Royale. It's just a bunch of people. Last one alive wins. I don't even think Battle Royale was the first to do it. These contestants are not really doing it because they want to be doing it. They are students in a school, and their teacher has snapped. He's had enough, so he's going to make them all kill each other. Have you seen Battle Royale?
No,
Okay.
I just can't imagine.
I've seen this movie with a bunch of friends who were just laughing at it, not realizing that what was happening is ridiculous, and they know it's ridiculous. Sure, maybe things haven't aged perfectly, but it's still shocking. It's still interesting. You still want to know who's the winner at the end, you know? Very good movie. I love this sort of violent Japanese school stuff where it's like, I don't know, it feels wrong. You shouldn't be killing kids, but that's what the movie is. Battle Royale. Number 5 is American Psycho. If you haven't seen this movie, but maybe you've seen things from it, you might have an idea. It's not that. It's not a slasher movie. It has the appearance of being a slasher movie, especially the cover, and the memorable moments from the movie are him murdering people, saying crazy things, like reciting facts about famous musicians or albums or whatever it happens to be, because he's a mega nerd, this guy. He's the best at what he does.
In '87, Huey released this, 4, their most accomplished album.
Psycho.
He's a psycho. He's an American psycho. And that is the real psycho. You know, it's not that he's murdering people, because is he even murdering these people? By the end of the movie, you'll be like, wait, what even was real? It's not to be taken literally. It's a metaphor for America in particular. That's why it's in the title. This capitalist society, how and what makes a person get to the top of that? That is American Psycho. Number 4, Castaway. It's just good.
Wilson!
Yeah. It's got some classic moments. I always will remember the scene where he knocks his own tooth out with the ice skating blade. Ugh. Yes, Wilson, his only friend on the island is a basketball.
Volleyball.
Is a volleyball. Very simple. It's just a survival movie. I love survival movies.
Fun fact is that we watched that for free because my mom was working in FedEx before.
What the heck?
Heckin'
Yeah,
dog!
so you got like the movie in the mail.
Like,
She opened someone's mail and just
no,
kept
it's,
it.
yeah, literally, we watched it, like, we didn't pay anything. We watched it in the full
In the cinema?
Yeah.
What?
free because my mom was working in FedEx.
I didn't know that the Philippines had any cinemas. Number 3. Okay, this is controversial. I'm sorry, but I did grow up in the 90s. Number 3 is Digimon the movie. Okay, you might be thinking like, oh, Pokemon, like kids anime. Like, it's not good. It's not good anime. Or anime is not even good. You know, whatever. Digimon the movie is awesome. So the movie ties together the first 2 seasons, or at least the first 2 like groups of kids. So you start off with Tai and Mimi and Sora, and you know that's the original gang, Matt. And then season 2, you've got like their little siblings, basically. Can't remember their names. This movie is about all of them. It goes across different timelines, different places. There's even different villains. It's so interesting how it's told. I don't think I've seen another movie like this. Maybe there are other anime movies like this, and I just haven't seen them. I love the digital world. You know, it's like the Matrix. It's essentially just the Matrix, but inside the Matrix is these creatures that have a connection with the tamers that find them. The villains in this are also so good. They have an emotional tie to the characters. I love the Digimon design in this too. As Digimon digivolve, they grow extra weapons and spikes, and they get real gangster and goth and badass, which definitely sets them apart from Pokemon. But just in particular, the ones in this movie, I love their mass. Like they have these giant arms.
What's going on?
So the coolest villain in the movie is Diaboromon. Such a cool name, diabolical, you know. Number 2 is Unbreakable. It's another M. Night Shyamalan movie. I think it's even better than The Sixth Sense. When it came out, a lot of people dismissed it, thought, it's not as good as The Sixth Sense. Comics and movies are intertwined. From the framing of a picture to the framing of a comic book panel, the same rules apply to both. And M. Night Shyamalan knows that, and he knew that in Unbreakable. It's even explained to you throughout the movie by Samuel L. Jackson's character, Mr. Glass. You've got the unbreakable Bruce Willis and his family troubles. The movie. That's the gist of the core of the movie. Is him and his wife are having these troubles, and it's so sad. This movie just has this like, everything's bad and wrong, and you feel so bad for him and the kid too, who just wants his parents to like each other.
He'll die, Joseph.
Just shoot him once.
Joseph, listen to what your mother...
Don't be scared.
Joseph, if you pull that trigger, I'm going to leave. Do you understand? I'm going to go to New York. You're right. If you pull that trigger, that bullet is just going to bounce off me and I'm not going to be hurt. But then I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to pack and I'm going to leave for New York.
There's funny moments too, like the weight lifting scene. The kid just keeps putting more and more weights on it, and Bruce Willis doesn't even realize, and then he realizes and he's like, oh shit, maybe I am super strong. So very cool. Quentin Tarantino described this movie best. It is a Superman movie where Superman doesn't know that he's Superman. My favorite superhero movie of all time. It's not like your normal superhero movies, that's for sure. There's no epic fight scene. There is a confrontation at the end. In fact, there's a couple. There's a real superhero one where Bruce Willis essentially puts on a cape. And then there's the real face-off with the actual villain. Again, I'm not going to put any spoilers out there. There is a twist. Just watch the movie. If you haven't seen it, my goodness, Unbreakable. M. Night Shyamalan at his best. So, we've already gotten to some of my all-time favorite movies. Like, not just of the year, but of all time. So what the heck could be at number 1? Any guesses? Shut up. Number 1 is Gladiator. This movie kind of doesn't really get talked about much. Every now and then you hear someone say that they really like Gladiator, or yeah, it's an epic. More often I hear people going like, Gladiator. It's also very commonly compared to Ben-Hur. Of course, it's very similar storyline. The actual main story is supposed to be based on history. Yeah, they didn't have a script for this movie. I remember watching the behind the scenes, and they basically had to make it up as they went along. I don't know how the hell they got such a good story and character arcs. Joaquin Phoenix, one of his best performances ever, him as the evil emperor. On the other hand, you've got Maximus, one of the greatest scenes ever, where he finally shows the emperor's face.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
Everything's taken from him. He had everything. He was the best general. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor at the time, loved him. He was his favorite person in the whole empire. He had it all. He was the best general, but he's done his last battle. He wants to just go home, go back to his family in Spain, and live out the rest of his days. Like, yes, Russell Crowe, definitely Spanish. They have a German who's a German, so that at least they got that right. Amazing CGI as well for the year 2000. I know a lot of it's practical or in camera or just photography, essentially. This actor died in the making of the movie, so they just used other shots and lines and they pieced it together and they made it work, and they had to change what happened to the character. I think it worked better than probably what they had intended. So very, very well done. All the characters are memorable. Hans Zimmer did the score. You might remember the score from movies like Pirates of the Caribbean. It just ripped off the score. Pretty sure Pirates of the Caribbean is a different composer as well. Maybe he got permission, I don't know how it works, but it's the same score! The gladiator scenes, of course, are epic. And they're not just, fighting. It's not just like a dumb Marvel movie where, there are elements, like they have to do this thing to stop this from happening and get over here, run around there, or just, everyone get in the shield wall, right? So that the chariots don't just kill you. And in fact, you can flip the chariots. Russell Crowe, being a general, knows what he's doing. That's why he's the best gladiator. The ending is heartbreaking, but it makes it so good. Anything else you want to know about Gladiator?
No, I do know about the hay.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Uh,
Okay.